Yes, yes. Welcome to the week 7 spreads of the week, where me and Mike are going to get well and truly in amongst it here and pick every NFL spread on this great Sunday. How are you doing today, Mike? Still picking at a wonderful 54%. Got you in good spirits, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's good going okay so far. I'd obviously, if I was putting money on all these games, I'd be turning a profit here. So that's always that's what you strive for.
Yeah, yeah,
And we've
wonderful.
got the last of the London games today, which I've got on in the background, joining you from my couch today.
Yeah, excellent. A game that I mentioned to you, I forgot all about. Yep, that.
A memorable clash of 1 and 5 teams.
Yeah, now we should probably go over the Thursday night game briefly. Another favorite covering on a primetime game is a trend we're seeing a lot, and the Broncos doing us very nicely there, covering that 3 points with ease there.
Yeah, it was an absolute dismantling, wasn't it? That was really easy for the end. In the end, for the Broncos, the Saints were very depleted by injury and a little short-handed anyway, talent-wise. I'd suggest they just couldn't live with the Broncos, could they? So we called that one accurately. I was always a bit nervous. I'm always a bit nervous backing against the Saints in the Superdome, but because historically they're very good there, but this year they've been pretty poor, haven't they?
Awful. Yeah, really failing to cover spread since week 2, I think. So, yep.
Not really
And then
too
we
much more to say on that. Bo Nix rushed for 70 yards, so
that's it. Yeah, yeah.
the
You
dual
go.
threat.
Yeah, so this game's going on. We picked this just before it kicked off, so a pretty big one here. New England 6.5 point underdogs. I picked the Jags. You picked New England, and with an early score there, looks to be a 6.5 point cover. Looks to be well and truly on for you early here, Mike.
Oh, it's one drive into the game, so we'll see. But yeah, I just don't. As I said to you before, we jumped on this call. I don't think really you can necessarily back the Jags um, to cover handily as a favorite, just being 1 and 5 and playing how they played this season. So I was happy to take the Patriots here.
Yeah, yeah. I just thought they'd been there a couple of weeks. We saw a big blowout in the last London game, so I thought I might back the favorite, but yeah, probably against my better judgment. We'll see how it pans out for the Jags, though. It's do or die for them at this point.
Yeah, no, for sure. As Trevor Lawrence trots onto the hallowed Wembley turf here. At Wembley today, not at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which I didn't realize. I didn't realize they were still playing games at Wembley. So
Yeah,
uh,
on the natural turf. Yeah.
yeah, it's looking very lush, the turf there. I'm sure the NFL players will be despising that. Probably a nice slow track for them there.
All right.
So uh,
Lovely.
Hawks at Falcons. Looks like the Falcons are 3 point home favorite. I imagine that's been influenced by the Seahawks reeling off 3 straight defeats here. But I'm not sure about that. Who wants to go first here? Did you go first last week or did I? I can't remember.
Well, you seem to have a strong opinion, so you have at this.
Okay, all right. I think I'm going to take the Seahawks. I think the rot is going to stop eventually for them. It's very rare you see what I consider to be a above average decent NFL team lose 4 games in a row. That
Yeah.
that losing streak has had a sort of air of freakishness about it as well. A very close loss, a couple of very close losses. One to the Giants, which was at home, which was a bit of a disaster. I feel like they might have been looking ahead to the 49ers there with that one. And then they
Mhm.
obviously had a very physical, close game with the Niners. So I don't think the Falcons are anywhere near as good as the 49ers. So I'm quite happy to take the Seahawks here to cover it.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree because I think the Falcons are on a bit of a winning train here. I'm just having a look, and they've covered the last 2 spreads as favorites, so I can understand why they would be a home favorite. Kind of makes sense to me. This one, I think Cousins has looked good the last 2 weeks, kind of shaking off a bit of the fatigue and the injury. So I'm going to back the Falcons to get the job done here, and the rot continues for the Seahawks, as you call it. And they might be asking some questions actually if they get to 3 and 4. I think after this one, and the Falcons moving along nicely.
Doke. First differ of the day.
Hmm.
Uh, so I feel like this is going to be a big line. Oh no, okay.
Hmm.
The bookmakers have uh rationalized on their Eagles after making them a what was it, a 9.5 point favorite against the Browns last week, which is
Yeah,
just
yeah, I got
complete.
done on that one.
That was obviously. I mean, to be fair, I do have an advantage because I watch a lot of Eagles football. There is no way we're blowing anybody out by 10 points at the moment. The way we're playing,
No,
so
but
go
you're
on then.
going to take this one as well. You can go
Yeah,
on.
I guess I should, and then you can do two in a row. So I'm going to on the road. Um, uh, so we just beat the Browns by a field goal. Um, I'd say the Giants are a very similar team, actually. We're a strong young defense with an anemic offense. So it
Hmm.
could be a sort of similar day at the office for us. Jordan Mailata's down for 4 weeks with a hamstring, so we might be a bit short-handed on the offensive line. I don't know, I'm still going to take the Birds here. I'm going to take the
Hmm.
Birds to win by more than a field goal. I think the Giants are probably better, a little bit better than I thought they would be, especially on defense. But I still think the Eagles have enough to get this done. At least I hope we do. 3-3 would probably be panic stations for Eagles
Hmm.
fans. So yeah, I need to get to 4-2 here.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I think that's a nice, not a comfy win, but you get the job done here at MetLife. The strength of that Giants defense is the pass rush. So I don't think you'd be foolish enough to put Hurts back there in the gun all day and just throw it. I think just running the ball at them will do for them nicely here. And you should have enough on defense. As you said, the Giants haven't got much going. A really poor team. In a divisional game, I usually like to side with a home dog, but I can't take the Giants here. I'm going to take the Birds with you.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Uh, so that puts you um, on the clock here with
The Battle
home
of Ohio.
the hometown Cleveland Browns in the Battle of Ohio. I believe you're going to the
Yes.
tailgate of this one, Thomas.
Yeah, I'll be shooting off after this is done to the old tailgate down there in the land. Um, well, Mike, this is a stupid spread for me. I mean, the Browns have shown the ability to handle the Bengals a lot in recent years, even with all the losses and stuff. But it still irks me to make them a 5.5 point underdog at home. I think everyone's just said the Browns are the worst team in the NFL now. It's all falling apart. But this just strikes me as one where Cooper's been traded. There might be a bit of a rally here from the Browns. I think I'm going to just back my gut and say you can't make them this much of a underdog at home in a divisional game. It's just madness. So going with the Browns here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you on that. Obviously, it's a big home underdog. I mean, maybe that's quite natural that we would both side with the big home dog there because that logic dictates that you would. But also, I just think they match up nicely with the Bengals. I think what you might see from them now, especially now Cooper's been traded, they're not trying to force the ball to him anymore. I don't. I think they've given up on this Deshaun Watson. Let's get him in the shotgun and let's spread it out. I think they might go back to what Kevin Stefanski really likes to do: is 12 and 13 personnel, get it under center and run the ball 60, 70% of the time. I think Nick Chubb is potentially going to be getting some snaps in this game. Well, that's what they said last week on the broadcast with the Eagles Browns game. So if you can work in I think Ford has played well at running back in his absence
Mm.
too. So that's a really good 1-2 punch. Become a physical running team and lean on that sort of top five defense. I think the Browns can stay in a lot of these games, and the Bengals will give you a chance. It's not a great run defense, so
Yeah,
yeah, I'm going to take the Browns too here.
nice.
Uh, Lions at Vikings. How do you feel? This is a really good game, actually. Sneaky good.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
lovely.
yeah, the bookmakers are unsurprisingly calling this one very even. What do you think?
Yeah, they've learned not to make the Vikings underdogs anymore. That's stopped pretty quickly. I have to take the 5-0 football team at home. It's just such a hard place to go and win as an opposing team. Now it is a divisional game, so I'm expected to be close, but Yeah, the Vikings have done it for me all year. So until they prove me otherwise, I've just got to keep taking them. Been so impressed with the job O'Connell's done there, and just handling his quarterback nicely and resurging Sam Darnold's career. Aaron Jones coming to town as well. It's all clicking very nicely here. The Vikings, I think they're a very well-rounded team. I know I've backed against the Lions a few times and been scolded, but no, I just have a real affinity for this Vikings team, so I'm going to stick with
Yeah,
them.
yeah. You don't want to be scolded by a lion. Goodness.
God
I,
forbid.
I think I'm going to agree with you here. That they're just a good football team at home. I don't feel strongly about it. I could easily see the Lions coming here and winning. With Aiden Hutchinson down with a season-ending injury, though, that pass rush might lack some of its usual
Mhm.
pizzazz.
Yeah, it's
Um,
big.
and that offense is really clicking for the Vikings. The defense, as well, is potentially um, potentially set up to give the Lions some problems. They'll have to have a lot of blitz answers for this Brian Flores led unit at the Vikings. So yeah, I think the Vikings just in a good one. I'm really looking forward to that. I might even go to that in full if some of the other games are flattering to deceive here.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
so Miami at Indianapolis.
Oh,
The Dolphins heading up to the Midwest here.
oh,
You would normally say that's a recipe for disaster, but it isn't a dome, of course.
yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
I'm going to take the Colts here. Tua is back next week per this article here. So um, Richardson, I think, is going to play. Flacco has been excellent in relief. So even if Richardson gets pulled for another injury or poor performance, I still think they've got enough to beat this Dolphins unit that's just decimated by injury. If Tua was playing, I'd have a different feeling about this. Oh, Drake May scrambling on third down. Oh, he's playing
Oh,
great. Um,
thanks.
yeah, so Dolphins. Sorry, Colts for me. Colts.
Ah, it's tough. Jonathan Taylor's out for the Colts. They've got it done a bit without him, but that is a quite a big loss for them. Um, it's tough. It's going to be tough to bet against the Colts here.
Oh wow, Colts have got Pierce and Downs both questionable as well. Goodness me.
Yeah, I just think if it's a field goal game, it'll probably be a wash, which I probably would expect from this affair. Actually, I'm just going to take the Dolphins here. They surprised me with the win the other week. I forget they played against now, but I expected they'd be just totally gone without Tua, but they managed to be competitive. So I want to take the Dolphins here. Just a bit of a gut feel. I don't really rate Indianapolis as a home atmosphere these days.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Good to differ on another.
Yeah.
Lots of competition this week, early doors. Tytoons at Bills. Um,
Now, now
this
I
is
have this one as a 9.5 point actually. So let's go with that. Since
Yeah, to avoid the wash.
yeah,
Yeah, which obviously makes it slightly harder to take the Bills as well, with 9.5 points in it.
yeah,
Does Amari Cooper have enough practice time to make a difference in this one? The Titans' defense, as bad as the offense has been, and the offense has been really bad. Not a good sign when your head coach and offensive guru um, can't get it above a bottom five unit in the NFL. But the defense for the Tennessee Titans has been really excellent.
yeah,
And as I sort of predicted around draft time, at least at the moment, Keon Coleman is not a number one receiver, so it has left the Bills a bit short-handed on offense. Although they
yeah.
are playing a lot more complementary football and playing better defense this season than in previous seasons, and obviously Josh Allen's a freak, so I'm going to take the Titans because even though it's basically a guaranteed Bills win here, I still think the Titans will hang around for a little bit.
I think so. I pretty much agree with most of what you said there. It's just a little bit too rich for me. The point differential here. Rudolph is a pretty standard third string quarterback. I would call him in the NFL, but he's probably not going to turn the ball over too much. There's one thing he doesn't tend to do. So I think they got just enough to compete with them here, the Titans.
Yeah, cool. Okay, I agreed with that. Let's move these screens here. Houston heading up to Green Bay, Wisconsin. Uh, I wonder if it's going to be chilly in Lambeau Field yet. Probably a little chill in the air, an autumn crisp, as it were. Um,
Uh, this is two. Okay, let's go with the 2.5. Because I had 3 here, but let's
oh yeah, let's
avoid
go. Let's go 2.5.
that wash. Yeah, I'm gonna. Packers have been playing quite well at home, particularly. It's hard to bet against them. Um, yeah, I just like that -2.5 little field goal win here for the Packers. I don't know if Nico Collins is back for the Texans yet, or if he's still off. Um,
No, he's on IR, so he has to do a minimum of 4 weeks.
yeah,
So he's still got a couple more weeks sidelined, unfortunately, for
okay.
my fantasy team.
Yeah, I mean the Texans do know how to win games. I'll give them credit; they really do. Just get through these affairs. I just think the Packers at Lambeau's tough. I think they might get this done just by a field goal here. So I'm going to take the Packers.
Okay. I am going to take the Texans. I just CJ Stroud is playing brilliant football at the moment. Absolutely outstanding football. They have Mixon back from injury. Not Collins, but Mixon is back, which is big for them. I actually think the Texans can come in and win this game in Lambeau Field.
Yeah,
But I do agree it's going to be close, very close. So I don't know. I'm just going to take the Texans, and if the Packers win by a couple of points, then I'm still in it. So yeah, give me the Texans
I
here.
think so. I don't think it's one to put money on that for sure.
No, no,
Yeah.
I would say not.
Mm.
Um, Okie dokie. I haven't really moved the needle there. Well, what I just pressed, but we'll try again. So Las Vegas at the Rams. Goodness me.
Oh,
Whoa, 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 whoa. Uh, well, I think the Lions, not the Lions, sorry, the Rams offensive line is still pretty decimated, I think. Um, so I mean, Cooper Cup might be back this week, but I don't
do
think.
you mind going down to the injury designations?
Yeah,
Because I'm sure they'll have a long list here.
yeah. Noteboom is questionable. Offensive line. Uh,
Mm. Havenstein taking a rest there. Oh
yeah.
dear.
Well, if Noteboom and Havenstein play, then that is a big difference for them on
Yeah.
the offensive line. Obviously, the Vegas Raiders played terrible football last week against the Steelers. But having watched the Justin Fields all 22 of that game over on the QB school, I have to say that game was kind of closer than it looked. It just was a very
Mm.
poor offensive display last week from the Raiders that really handed that to the Steelers. And I think the Rams defense gives you a lot less pause for thought than the Steelers defense. So after all of that conjecture and faffing around, I'm going to take the I'm going to take the Raiders here, just to make this. There'll be loads and loads of Raiders fans as well in the dome here in LA. So yeah, give me the Raiders here just to make it competitive.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, I think playing away from home actually suits this Raiders team a bit better. They just seem like a little bit lost when they're at home there. And there's 70% Steelers fans in your own home stadium. It just
Yeah,
pressure from the coach and the media there. I think going away is actually good for this team. So I definitely like to cover the field goal here. No qualms with that.
nice. Okie dokie. So then the next game up on the slate that I have is Washington hosting the Panthers. Wow, the Commanders have just been playing inspired ball here.
Yeah.
Unlucky to lose to the Ravens, really. They put up another great offensive effort. What are you going to do here, Tom?
Yeah, it's tough. Um, Panthers Panthers haven't covered. They've covered once out of 6 weeks. Even when they're given the big spreads. I got to take. I mean, you have to take the Commanders here. You can't take the Panthers, especially going away from home here. The football the Commanders are playing. I think it's yeah, even 14 points would give me cause for concern here for Carolina. So I just don't think it's big enough, and I'm going to take the Commanders to continue their rich vein of form.
Yeah, I think you've got to take the Commanders to win here. Good week to have Jaden Daniels as your fantasy football quarterback, I would suggest. Um, if I was putting my own money on this, I might trim it down to a touchdown, just to
Yeah,
make it comfy. But as you say, for the purposes of this exercise, you have to go for the Commanders. The Panthers haven't shown anything, so until they do, quite happy to take the Commanders. Really.
yeah.
Oh, the big one. I'm so pleased. I'm very, very pleased with this. I'm very pleased that this is not um in prime
Prime
time
time.
because it means
Yeah,
that I can actually watch it at a sensible hour here in the UK, 9:25 kick.
yeah.
Think I'll probably be going full to this one. It's a hell of a tilt Super Bowl rematch. Your Chiefs, Tom. What do you think?
Yeah, well, Andy Reid's coming off a bye week, Mike. So this line is insulting to me as a Chiefs fan. This is a Chiefs victory here on the road against a Niners team who hasn't impressed me much at all. And we see here we've got Kareem Hunt going, getting him some touches. The band's getting back together here. Even with the injuries we have at receiver, what we're going to see is a shrunken playbook here, more of a rushing game, just to run at the middle of that Niners defensive front there, and take away some of the pace they have at linebacker. So I'm gonna take a nice Chiefs win here. That Mahomes, the picks you want to see come down, but as I said, I think we're just going to rein it in a bit here and just lean on our championship defense and get this thing done in San Francisco.
I don't think I haven't bet against the Chiefs once. Have they covered every spread? I think they might have done the Chiefs. Uh,
Yeah, I think we didn't cover against the Bengals that week.
okay.
That was like an odd 5.5 spread, but we still won the game, obviously. But
Yeah.
yeah, other than that, it's been covers all round.
Obviously at 1.5, you're basically just calling a winner here. You're
Mm.
not. It's. I'm going to take the 49ers.
Hmm.
Not out of any great faith in them. But they are starting to get healthy. McCaffrey not back this week, but soon. And I just feels to me like the Chiefs are going to lose a couple of games in the regular season. So the Niners probably feel like the best regular season opposition they're going to face, or right up there anyway. So I think probably if you only lose two games this season, it will probably be the Niners and a random divisional loss to one of those teams. So I'm going to take the Niners just on that logic alone. It's pretty flimsy, but yeah, that's what I'm going with. That's what the gut says to me this week.
No, that makes sense. I mean, there's got to be a reason Vegas has made them home favorites. I'm not quite sure what it is, but yeah,
Well, yeah. I mean, they the personnel are still impressive for the Niners on offense in particular. And yeah, I guess as you said, Casey being slightly short-handed maybe, but at receiver. But yeah, no, it does. It's a slight surprise. I still thought Chiefs might be favored there on the point spread.
yeah, yeah.
Um, okay, so then the New York Jets. Oh, well, chaos
Oh,
in New York, complete chaos. Um, they're gonna bring in Davante Adams. I don't know. Can he play in this game? Would you be able to check for me, Tom? Is that because I've got the screen share on?
yeah.
Um, now, obviously,
Uh, yeah, he's expected to play extensively. They're
okay.
reporting.
So
Hmm.
he won't obviously have the whole playbook there. But what he will have is basically all the routes that Rogers likes to throw, and he knows how he likes them run. So slants, goes, and outs basically. And their chemistry and their timing on those in Green Bay was probably one of the greatest receiver quarterback relationships of all time.
Yeah,
So I'm actually going to say they come in and they recapture some of that. Russell Wilson comes in for the Steelers and absolutely stinks it up. And the Jets get an amusing win for me in the Keystone State. Um, and yeah, I just don't know how you can go from uh, how you can make a quarterback change when you're 4-2. I think the football karma will be on the side of the Jets here for that strange
Hmm.
decision from the Steelers. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Jets here.
Yeah. Oof. Oh, I just yeah.
The Steelers being a home dog is offensive. If I was a Steelers fan,
Yeah.
I'd be
That's
offended.
what I'm thinking. I don't want to back against them as a home dog. Um, yeah, I think the crowd will be rocking there. I'm going to take the Steelers just because the Jets have shown me they like to capitulate this year. They're not a team. If they were up in the fourth quarter, they're not a team I would back to close a game down. And I think that might come back to haunt them here if they get out to a lead. I think that there could be a Steelers comeback on here if Wilson's playing. I'm just going to take the Steelers, just a bit of a gut one here. Until the Jets show me they're a proper football team, I'm not going to back them.
As I said, I watched that all 22 of the Steelers offense from last week in Las Vegas, and it's
Rough.
it's a
Yeah.
rough watch. Yeah, I don't really know what Russell Wilson's going to come in and change about that. So,
Yeah.
but I do agree with you. I mean, I'm surprised they're a home dog here, the Steelers.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm happy to take the Jets, as I said. Uh, right. So a good game actually for once in prime time. Really good game, in fact. Ravens at Bucks.
Hmm.
Two 4-2 teams. I'd say both a bit. I think both teams are probably slightly better than that. Surprising to have the two raw losses for the Ravens here. Um,
Yeah.
is it? Yeah, it's you to go first. Sorry, I'll shut up.
That's right. I'm just having a look at some spreads here. The Ravens have been favorites for every game apart from the Chiefs this year. And they're covering at about 50%. So yeah, this is tough. I don't like the Bucks as a 3.5 point underdog. That doesn't sit right with me. I think that's offensive to them, given the football they've played this year.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I think the Bucks could stun the Ravens here. They get some of that passing game going against a Ravens secondary that hasn't really done much for me this year. Their
you read
defense as
my
a whole,
mind.
quite suspect. It's not a good matchup for them on paper, actually. So, especially the way if you look on the other side of the ball, the way the Bucks can stop that running game. So matchups dictate this one. I'm going to take the Bucks.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with everything you said. It sounds like we're completely on the same page here. That is going to be an absolute war in the running game between Derrick Henry and Vita Vea. There's going to be some shoulder pads popping in that one, and that'll be great to watch.
Yeah.
We were just waxing lyrical about Vita Vea only this week, Tom. The most freakish nose tackle in the NFL. Yeah, so that takes away the Ravens' most potent threat, which is their running game. Potentially could take it away. And then, yeah, as you say, on offense, the Bucks are going to spread you out and pass it. And that has not been the Ravens' strength this season. They've really struggled. They've got Kyle Hamilton playing safety rather than sort of nickel and dime linebacker, and he's been exposed, which is what we said. I remember when he came out in the draft 3 years ago, you and I both sat there and spoke about his struggles in coverage at Notre Dame, and it's showing up so far.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Bucks here and a home dog does feel offensive. I think that's just a lot of people, a lot of people going in on the Ravens, the name recognition with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, and not really knowing maybe a huge amount about what the Bucks have brought to the table so far this season.
Yeah. Well said.
Uh, yeah, I got on a bit of a rant there, didn't I? I apologize. So, uh, Chargers, Cardinals, the big one,
Uh,
the one we've all been
second.
waiting for.
Yeah. Goodness.
God, I mean,
Oh. Yeah,
geez.
this game's on ESPN Plus. That pretty much says it all. You've got to have the subscription to watch it. So good luck getting the viewers.
Yeah. Um, Yeah, I don't think. I mean, obviously, it'll only be Chargers and Cardinals fans paying for the pleasure of watching these two teams square off. Um, I'm going to take the Cardinals here. I think they had a really bad day at the office last week. Last time they played, um, and it was just terrible. Kyler turned the ball over. Uh, Connor turned the ball over, which is
Mm.
rare for him. It just was bad. It was ugly. But I still think they're a slightly better football team than that. They beat the 49ers, so they can be a threat, and it's at home in prime time. The Chargers looked better throwing it more. They had to pick up their head coach off the canvas from a bout of illness on the sideline. Maybe that's when he maybe they saw him go out and they thought, right, shit, Jim Harbaugh's a,
Take the handbrake off.
yeah, let's throw it. Let's throw it while Jim's puking up. Um, but yeah, I think the Chargers look better when they throw it a bit more. So I could be proven wrong here, but I'm going to go for the Cardinals as a home dog.
Mm. The Cardinals are one of those Jekyll and Hyde teams that'll, yeah, you just can't back them on a spread because they surprise you every week. As soon as you think you can take them, they disappoint you. For that reason, I've got to take the Chargers here. Just a nice solid victory. I was impressed with their win at Denver last week. They're just handling everything nicely, just playing solid football. They're kind of built to play on the road a bit. This Chargers team, so I'm going to take them to win by the field goal there. Nice, comfy cover if it comes in.
Lovely. Uh, yeah, New England's up 10-0 here against the Jags.
Now, yeah,
So
that spread is well and truly done. Done from the early doors.
the Jags are at midfield though, so they might come down and score here. But yeah, that's I think that's all of us. I don't think that's all of them. Sorry, I don't think I've missed any, have I? Because sometimes I am guilty of missing games.
No, that was it. It was the full slate for this week, and quite a few differs from us there. So yeah, interested to see how this pans out. Some silly spreads as well. I have to say the
Yeah, a bit
Cleveland
more.
one standing out to me as a silly one, and the
Yeah,
Chiefs as well. I think.
yeah, I agree. I agree with that. And then Bucks for me, I would say
Yeah, yeah,
that's
that's
pretty
odd.
defensive.
Yeah,
Yeah. So look, I mean, it makes it more interesting for us when they're not just all 3 point spreads. You can actually have some fun with thinking about, okay, how big will the Bills beat the Titans? And
yeah,
that's a little bit more interesting. So yeah, it should provide some good entertainment this week.
yeah. All right, we'll check in next week and see how we go on. See if you can continue your good streak there, Mike. Until then, go well.
Go well.